Okay, I think it's about time to start. So, yeah, welcome to CMSC 201, Spring 2021. I'm Eric Hamilton. I'm the guy who just sent you your Discord invite. Yep. If you haven't received your Discord invite, let me just check on the status of those. Looks like they should all be sent except for about 4 or 5 of them, and I'll deal with those after class. So if you haven't gotten a Discord invite, give me a little bit of time, and then, you can send me an email. Okay, so let's talk about things. So, all right, so basically, how was I going to structure the course? And so this was a question that came up a number of times. Let me just talk about how I'm going to do it, and I'll just write it down here. So, basically, here's how the course is going to work. Let's say, okay, so we have 2 lectures, Monday and Wednesday. On the Monday lecture, I'm going to hold it at 1 p.m., and on the Wednesday lecture, I'm going to hold it at 4 p.m., which is right now. So the question is, like, what is attendance required? No. And the reason why is because I can't take, okay, that's another question. So what about, let's talk about discussions. Okay, hang on. So what about discussions sections? So discussion sections are intended to kind of assist you with the course and help you learn. So the sections are of at most 20 students. Again, let's hang on. Okay, so is attendance required? No. Will the videos remain online forever? Yes. So the answer is, if you can't come to a lecture, then what you do is you just watch it later. And from what I've noticed is that about 80% of students actually do that anyway, which is why I'm like, I could repeat myself and hold identical lectures twice on Mondays and Wednesdays, but no, let's just do it once. Okay? And so you might think, well, maybe I can't ask the question I want to ask, but there should be enough people here. There should be enough people to ask the question that you want. So as you see, I do read the YouTube chat, and I'll respond to questions, as they come up. Let me get rid of the boundary on this. It looks better without it. There we go. Okay, so you guys can ask a lot of questions. So I'm thinking about restructuring how lectures work, and I'll describe that towards the end of the class. Let's just leave that alone for now. So currently, this is what we're going to do. I'll have a lecture on Monday, I'll have a lecture on Wednesday, and if you can't make it, you can watch the video later. You can watch it however many times you want. So, there's that. There's no attendance that's taken. So that's how this works. Okay. So that's how lecture works. So what about discussions? So no discussions this week. So there is a Lab 0 assignment that I'm going to be releasing. Probably tonight, because basically what I need is to change fall 2020 to spring 2021, and then it's good to go. The point of this assignment is that it's going to test whether or not you said hello to your TA. So lab 0 tests you on saying hi to your TA in the lab section on Discord. Okay? So that's what you got to do. You got to go and say hi. And, you know, tell them a bit about yourself or talk to the other people. The good news is that there's only ever, other than me and the other administrators for the course, there's only ever 20 students in each section. So if you have a question that you don't feel like putting an on topic on the Discord, which I'll talk about the Discord in just a second, but if you don't feel like putting a question in the on topic channel, I haven't gotten to assignments yet. So right, so there's 20 students in each section, right? Ask your TA questions. That's their job, okay? So, all right. So let's go back to the syllabus for just a second. Let's see what we got. Where is the syllabus? Here it is. Okay. So, yeah, so what is this course? Basically, this course is going to take us from 0 to some programming knowledge. So let me just tell you kind of what my goal is for you this semester, right? So here's what I want out of you. Basically, there's a bunch of tools that programming languages are made of, most programming languages. Those tools are basically variables, functions, for loops, while loops, I guess if statements, right? If, else statements. What I want you to be able to do, and so here's the goal. I want you to be able to take problems and to convert them into code using these basic features. So basically everything in the course, right, is going to be either, I mean, I guess you can add lists and dictionaries to that, maybe. But that's for later. But basically, we want you to be able to take problems, like little questions that we ask, and to convert them to code using these basic features. So we'll spend most of the semester talking about, you know, loops and if and else and variables, functions, and then we'll talk about lists, and then later on in the semester we'll talk about this other stuff, this slightly more advanced Python stuff. So the class is in Python, and specifically Python 3. Okay, so what that means is that we're not using Python 2, so I'll show you what that means when we go onto the GL server in just a minute. So someone was asking so I think this is basically what I want out of people. This is the goal of the course. This is really, are we going to cover sorting? Yeah, so sorting is covered towards the end of the class. You know, I do talk about it. It's, yep. Well, that's a good question. What is GL? I don't know. So, okay, but this is what I want out of you. And so let's keep going. So basically here, these are the things that you should be able to do. So eventually, basically number one is like the most of the course, right? You should be able to solve programming problems using a modern programming language, specifically Python. You should be able to define these things because obviously those are the things that your solutions are going to be made out of. Problem solving skills, so 1, 2, and 3 are all basically the same. Sure, and then Unix, it's really Linux actually, but whatever. There we go. If I'm a Stallmanite, you know, I would be very upset with that. Transfer the skills, okay, whatever. Okay, so basically these are the course objectives. So let's talk quickly about grading criteria. So here is how the course is graded. I guess I'll just post a link to the syllabus here. Okay, so homework 0 is going to be 10 points, and you'll see why homework 0 is going to be 10 points. So there might be 12 to 13, some, there's 10 plus labs is basically the way to understand that. I had some people trying to, lawyer me last semester about that because I added a lab. So basically here, homework 0 there's one of them, then there's 6 other homeworks, each worth 50 points. There's 3 projects, each worth 100 points. And so, so that's how it works. And then, so homeworks are generally a 1-week type thing, and projects are a 2-week thing. So projects come at the end of the semester, and they're generally a bit more involved than the homeworks. Homeworks are usually solvable within 10 lines of code, really, maybe 20 lines of code, something like that. A project is where you're going to actually get experience writing more. Oh my god, already with that. I'm not going to answer that question, I think. But probably, I might make it towards the beginning, but let me just wait until I get there, okay? I haven't even gotten down to labs yet. So labs are done in discussion, right? So in discussion, you'll be given a lab document, and your TA will guide you through it. And so I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to make labs due on Mondays, so Monday night at midnight, and homeworks are going to be due Fridays. Because last semester we had an issue where students were, basically they thought of the labs as just another homework assignment problem, and they would wait until the very end of the week to do both the homework and the lab. But the lab is supposed to help you. It's supposed to be a short problem, it's supposed to be a simple little thing that tells you how to do the homework. So we're going to kind of move up the due dates for the labs. We'll have the homeworks are going to always be due on Fridays. The labs are going to be due on, I think we're going to try to make the labs due on Mondays. So I guess lab 0 is due maybe next Monday or something, but we'll see. Okay, and so midterms, I've downweighted midterms because yeah, so no. No, I meant what I said. Labs tell you how to do homeworks, not the other way around. But last semester, a lot of students were just kind of lumping the lab assignments in with the homeworks, and they were doing them all at once. And then they were saying, well, why'd you just give me an extra homework problem that's called a lab? Why do that? That's stupid. And so I'm trying this semester to make people do the labs first, so that when you get to the homeworks, you'll have a little bit of background in the material. It's the order in which we're supposed to do things. Because back when we were in person, these labs were actually done in a discussion section. You had 30 minutes basically to 45 minutes to do them. And that's all, right? So some people were saying that they were taking like 2-3 hours on the labs. That's not the point, right? Just think of, I've not modified the labs in a way to make them harder, so they should not be taking you 3 hours. You should talk to your TA if it's taking you 3 hours to do a lab. Homeworks can take you a few hours to do. Labs should take you 30 minutes to do if you really understand it. If you don't understand it, go to your TA. So, yeah, that's exactly right. So use what you do in the lab to do the homework, right? It's basically like this is a simple exercise that's going to help you with the homework. Okay, and so, yep, it is like a mini lesson. That's right. So midterms and exams used to be worth a lot more. I've kind of downweighted them because we're online and things are different. Basically, usually about 25 of these 75 points are multiple choice, so it's like 50 are programming problems, and 25 are MCQ. So that's kind of how I've done the division of the, and it's the same thing here. And then it's similar here, but just weighted up a little bit, so maybe like, I think, who knows what I did, maybe like 35 points MCQ, and the rest was programming problems. So you get like 5 programming problems, just like a homework, plus 25 points of multiple choice. So I usually make each multiple choice worth about 2, so it's usually 12 to 13, usually 13 with an extra credit point or something like that. So that's how that works. Are the midterms timed? So you get an entire week to do the programming problems, but you only get 2 hours to do the 13 multiple choice questions. I give you 2 hours because I want it to end, right? I'm not giving it 2 hours because I think you're actually going to reach 2 hours. So almost no one ever reaches the 2 hours. You should reach maybe 30 minutes. But you have 2 hours to do them. I just do it so that eventually, you can't just leave it for, days and days and days and go back to it and back to it. Just like finish it into, sit down, just take the problems. Don't spend your whole life on these things. And so it's similar for the final exam, though I'm not 100% sure what the division was last semester because I just forget right now, but whatever. It's something similar, just scale it up a little bit. The academic integrity quiz, I'm thinking of probably trying to move that up a little bit. Maybe I'll have to rewrite it, but I'll move it up a little bit. I want to stress academic integrity a little more this semester. Which I'll get to. Okay, so then the grading scheme for the course is basically it's the 90, 80, 70, 60 system, except we have 1,000 points, so each point is worth 1/10% of your grade. So 900 points to 1,000 is an A, 800 to 899 is a B, 7 to 799 is a C, 600 to 699 is a D, and anything less, don't do that. So if you want to go on to 202, you need a B in this class. So that's how the grading system works. All right, let's move on. Let's see. A link to my YouTube channel. Yes. Okay, so finally. So that was 20 minutes on the syllabus. Actually, not too bad. Hopefully, we've gotten through everything. I know that's a boring part, but I think it's important to go over just because these classes, when you're online, it can feel kind of unstructured. So it's better to have everything. At least I said it, you heard it. There you go. So office hours will be on the Discord server. I will provide a link via email. So all of you should have a link, unless, of course, you don't have a link, in which case you should talk to me or send me an email or something, and we can get you online. Okay. So let's do this. Let's discuss office hours. Okay. Let me just minimize all the other crap so you don't see it. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Here's Discord. Here's everybody. Here are some rooms that you can't see. But for you guys, really, what you see is this stuff, and you should see your section. So you shouldn't be able to see everybody's section, but you should be able to see your section. So that's where you go and say hi to your TA. So for instance, you would go here and you'd be like, hello, TA of section 24. You are my hero. Who is the TA for section 24? I don't know. Guess they're not online. Okay. So how do we do office hours? So office hours are it is normal because it's a bug. They shouldn't show up for everybody, but I think they might. Once you register, they should not be all visible. You should only see the one you're supposed to be in. So let's say you need help with the course, right? So let me turn on office hours. So this is something you don't have to do. So this is me checking into office hours. Hopefully, wait. Why didn't it? Come on. Yeah, that worked. Okay, have to figure out what's going on with. Of course, it worked yesterday, and now it's giving me trouble. Okay. No, it certainly didn't. Oh, wait a second. Is somebody already checked into office hours? Oh, okay, so it actually did work. Alright, maybe. Okay. So you'll go to the waiting room, and you'll type request, and be like, help me on homework 3, part 1. I need some help figuring out how to do the for. Okay? So you do that. So that's done in waiting room, and you need the exclamation point and then request. Hit enter, and then you'll get a DM from the bot, and it'll tell you you've entered the queue, and it'll help you shortly. And so then what do? You just wait until a teacher or somebody says accept. And then what's going to happen is it'll wait for a second. I don't know why it takes so long, but yeah, oh, I think someone's, yeah, that's why. It's been, office hours is already open. So, yep. So this is the office hour session. Hey everyone, can you help me with a for loop problem? Right? Alright, crazy people. I'm gonna close this thing. So when you're done, so you can go into the voice chat, though I'm not going to because there's too many people. Too many TAs are trolling us. So when you go in there, then you can share your screen, you can get help that way. And so then what you want to do is, when you're done, hit close, and then it'll kill the room. So that's how it works. Okay, so let's turn off office hours. Whoops. All right. Interesting. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong room. When the bot asks you for your key, basically the whole point of that is that we didn't want people, we didn't want people who were not associated with the course, if they somehow got the invite, which they shouldn't, but if they did, we didn't want people not in the course roaming around our rooms posting stuff, because there's a lot of people out there who are willing to troll and post stuff that is not great. So so anyway, that's generally how Discord is going to work this semester. So basically, the flow is that thanks. Are you just trolling us? Okay. So basically that's how Discord works. So the bug there was that I was already signed in from a long time ago, and it won't let you sign in again. I guess I need a message that says you're already in office hours. Stop that. Yep, that's right. Okay. So that's Discord. Mostly you can't see any of the administration or instruction channels. That's for the TAs and me. You can see these channels. You should be able to post here. Everybody posting their pets and stuff. Good stuff, right? Everybody loves the pets channel. We called this off topic just so that people don't meme too hard in there. Just remember it's a school channel, so don't meme too hard, okay? All right, I hear ya. There's some dank memes out there. Just hold yourself. Okay. So, all right. So that was Discord. Discord is kind of, it's pretty useful. It's pretty good. It's not perfect. There's a lot of things that it doesn't do for us. Face-to-face interactions are, still impossible, but I think by next fall we'll probably be back. But basically, Discord is gonna, it kind of takes the place of, it takes the place of face-to-face interactions moderately. Yeah, in terms of, okay. Yeah, so you can get I'll generally post the videos in the on-topic or announcement channel before I go live. But you can also you can hit that notification button. And then you don't need it, so that's good. Yeah, okay, so then what else do we have to talk about today? So I think we're about done with Discord for now. Oh, right. So the last thing I want to say about Discord. Be nice to each other. Don't go crazy. Don't send offensive stuff. And I know that that's kind of vague, but, there's, in 202, there were a few students who were sending these weird memes of, about religion, so leave that on, and then there were some people last semester who were doing some sexist things on the Discord, so don't do that either. Basically, the standard isms like sexism, racism, homophobia, all that stuff, leave that off this server, or else you will find out that we created a special role for special people like that. It's called Student Limited. Basically, it's you go there when you're bad, okay? If we don't feel like blocking you from the server, but you are sufficiently bad, people become limited. And then you generally can't post to most of the channels. You can still get office hour help. You can still talk to your TA in your discussion section, though we can always ban you from that if you do bad stuff there. So, but actually, the good news is that once we punished a few people last semester, the rest of the people were like, oh, we should not do equally bad things because then we will be similarly punished. Yeah, it's Discord jail. So please don't, what would make me very happy is please don't make me send anyone to Discord jail. Yeah, basically. Okay, so let's go back and look at the syllabus again. I see here. Release of home projects and homeworks. So, how am I going to release assignments? So basically, I release assignments on Blackboard. That's the official way. So I release it in Blackboard announcements. I don't always post them in the quote-unquote assignments folder. They are always in the announcements, and they are always in the announcement, or almost always in the announcements on the Discord. And usually I'll have either me or a TA repost it there. So usually the assignments are in two different places. You'll get an email when an assignment goes out. So I'll get you an email about Homework 0 and Lab 0 tonight. There will be links with Google Docs, right? So I'll show you Homework 0, and we'll do Homework 0 in class today before we go on. So submission is done through the GL system, so you might be asking what that is. Doesn't matter yet. We'll talk about that in just a second. Submissions are on, Fridays or Mondays or Fridays for labs. Everything else. So the system is automatic, so late assignments are generally not accepted. If you need an extension, you should ask before the due date and time. And so this is where I get to say, please, 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 start early, right? Okay, start early on things. I promise it will help. Look through the problems, try to solve them on the day they come out. Don't try to wait until the due date, okay? The reason why you don't want to wait until the due date, do you have anything due this coming Monday? Maybe Lab 0, but I'll get to that. Lab 0 is just saying hi to your TA on Discord, so... Yeah, this is no joke, right? Start early on things. Because even if you think, like, hey... I think the real problem is homework 1 is easy. Don't be fooled. Okay? Like, homework 1 is just print and input, and almost everybody gets almost 100% on it. It's a very easy assignment. But then by homework 3, 4, 5, 6, project 1, 2, 3 are not easy, right? So homework 1 and 2 are generally fairly easy. Projects, the homeworks and the projects after that are not easy. And so, to make sure every single assignment will be announced. Yes, as I said, there are no secret assignments. There cannot be secret assignments. If there are secret assignments, then no one would do them, and then they wouldn't exist. Okay, so, yep, if you want, make sure you start early. The best thing to do, and this is for us and for you, because we learned that last semester the issue with last semester is that people really mashed into the Thursday and Friday office hours before the due dates. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were dead. Most people weren't there. People didn't ask many questions. There were like 5 people all day. But on Thursdays and Fridays, we'd have up to 100 people, sometimes up to 200 people requesting office hour sessions last semester. Now, we had double the number of students last semester, but still. So make sure you try to ask your questions early. Talk to TAs before Thursday or Friday on the due dates. So structure, midterms, and finals, I kind of went over that. There's going to be coding problems and multiple choice problems. So late work. This is late work without extension. So no late work is going to be accepted. Okay, so, you know, lab assignments will be due on Mondays. Okay. So, so Lewis asked an important question. How do you tackle coding assignments? The answer is Mountain Dew. Is it download? Yes, we will get to all that. We're about to get to all that. Give me about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about this. This is the most unpleasant thing that I do. I hate this part of my job. It's awful, awful, awful. All right, here we go. Here in 201, we view academic integrity as vital for 2 reasons. I rewrote this section because I want you to read this, okay? In order to proceed to 202 and further in your computer science career, it is absolutely necessary for you to understand and be able to use and compose the basic aspects of programming. All right? And so, let's see, go to the tech support. Okay. So, in order to go on, you have to know this class. And if we find that you've cheated, the problem is that we know that either you or the person you cheated with or some combination don't really have the skills, or maybe you don't know what you're doing enough to go on. And so if we let you go on, then there's only 2 options for you. Either you cheat in 202, and then the rest of your computer science career, or you'll end up failing 202, and then you'll have to repeat that. So our goal here is not to punish anyone. Our goal here is to make sure that you're ready for 202. And if you're not ready for 202, we can't let you go there because you will be totally lost. You will be unable to handle 202. And then the other thing is that we want our degrees to have some meaning, right? And we want, when you say that you've graduated from UMBC, you want your degree to have value. And if UMBC is known as a school where you can just get away with cheating, then degrees don't really have any value anymore, okay? And so we can't let people go and mess it up for the rest of us, right? We can't let people mess up the fact that our degrees need to have meaning. They need to have value. When you get out into the working world, you want to be able to say that a UMBC degree is worth something. And this is unfortunately the dark side of what I have to do in order to prevent the devaluation of degrees. Okay, so the reasons that students cheat are this. The course is difficult. I agree, it is difficult. The projects were maybe a little difficult last semester. I'm going to try to make them a little bit more quote-unquote reasonable this semester. You can't see me air quoting, but I'm air quoting. So you can read these things. Time management. This is another real problem about why people cheat, and the answer is you just got to start things early. You got to submit your partial work. I'll show you the submit system. And then the saddest reason, of course, is helping friends. A friend can come to you and say something like, I need your help, can you just give me your code? The answer has to be no. It has to be no. Because inevitably you'll get caught too. Because your friend is not going to change your code enough to not be caught. So it happens nearly 100% of the time, so I'm just telling you, this is exactly what happens. So if a friend asks you to help in this course, refer them to the TAs, refer them to the professors. Do not take it. So you can help them by explaining a concept. You can help them by, and we'll talk about this in just a second, you can help them by going over example problems. Did it happen last semester? Yeah, we had about at least 40 instances last semester. So, it's standard stuff, right? It happens every semester. It's about 8% of students get caught every semester. So, yeah, I was getting to that. Min and I do look at Chegg, so please do not post anything on Chegg. Yes, they also have very bad code, so it's very easily detectable. So that actually helps us. So basically the way to pretend is that, well, let's just go through all the things that you can and can't do, okay? So let me just say the unfortunate consequences. So obtaining, distributing, posting, reproducing, copying, or otherwise using students' code is a violation of the academic integrity policy. Each assignment is its own infraction. That means if we find that you've cheated on 4 assignments before we send you an email, that's 4 infractions, okay? Well, it's not impossible. So you can write code that's very similar to someone else's, and that definitely does happen. But here's how we basically can tell the difference between that and cheating. So if you have one problem that's extraordinarily similar, maybe even duplicate of someone else, that is not cheating necessarily. Well, it might be cheating, but we don't look at that. It has to be every problem on an assignment is very similar, or almost every problem on the assignment is very similar. And the reason that that's the case is because normally when people cheat, they'll cheat on everything together, and so if one problem looks similar, that's circumstantial. If every problem looks similar, that is almost impossible, because 2 people will not solve the same problems, all the problems the same way. They might solve 2 of the problems the same way, but they're not going to solve 5 the same way. So that's kind of how we do it. Yep, so there's all this stuff about don't download or obtain anyone else's work, and don't share, right? And so both people are responsible. You're responsible for keeping your work protected, and you're responsible not to receive anyone else's work. Well, usually a homework is composed of 5 problems. So that's what I mean by problems. Office hours are 9 to 5. Well, exactly what I'm saying. If 2 people are thinking the exact same way, then they might think the same way for 2 problems or 3 problems. But probably not every problem on multiple assignments, right? So that's the issue. Okay, so let's go through the things that are allowed and not allowed. So I would avoid GitHub this semester. You can keep it private as long as you're very careful, and that's fine. But just, GitHub is fine as long as it's private. If you have a public GitHub, even if you don't tell other students about it, they might find it, and then that would be a problem. Okay, so getting help from an instructor or TA, completely allowed. Consulting documentation, allowed. Basically Googling for things. Well, I should be very careful about what I say there. Googling for solutions is not allowed. But if you just need help on syntax, a Google search for syntax is completely fine. You know, how do I do this? That's fine. What you cannot do is copy directly off the internet. Discussing course topics by assignment. So after the semester is over, you can put everything on a GitHub. But during the semester, don't do it, I'd say, probably. I kind of agree with Min. So creating, sharing, or copying notes. Notes, not code. Okay, allowed. Or really, I should say, not like homework projects. Okay, that's allowed. Getting or receiving help with using GL, definitely allowed. Comparing outputs, allowed. So what that means is if your 2 programs are outputting different things, you can look at the output of people's code, because that's not what's going on inside of the code, so that's okay. Discussing how to test your code. So if you have some test cases, you're like, oh, hey, remember that there's a division by 0 that can happen, make sure to test for that. That's kind of the right idea. You can tell people to do that kind of thing. But don't be like, oh, put the if x equals 0, then do this thing. Let's hope not. Okay, and so basically the things that are not allowed. I'm hoping that it's not me. Okay. Yeah, the internet is messed up. It might be my internet, it might be... Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. Okay. Well, I mean, attendance for lab sections is mandatory, but attendance for lectures is kind of optional, but I mean, that's just a matter of you watching it. So, basically, these things are where people get in trouble. Don't design your code together. Don't debug someone else's code. Don't talk about, like, when we say don't brainstorm general solutions, we'll never catch you if this is what you're doing. But what ends up happening after you brainstorm the general solution is that you're going to end up sharing code. Or your code is going to look identical. Because when you say brainstorming, and I say brainstorming, I think I'm a bit more vague than you are. So, not allowed. You know, don't, look at someone else's screen, look at someone else's code, look at screen, copy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then this is the big one. We check. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now that I've done this whole thing, yeah, try to maybe refresh. Can we share our code that others can test? No, that would be very bad. So planning a general design, again, this is one of those ones where if this is all you were doing, it's probably not a crime, but it never ends here. That's the problem. Planning a general design for your program means first you do this, and then 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 you translate each one of those, then you do this right into code, and then your code looks identical, right? The problem is that designing a general solution for your program usually means that people will immediately then start working on the specific solution. So we're just saying this is not allowed because we don't want to encourage you guys to do that. We want you to, and so here's the best way to avoid getting in trouble. Talk about things on the Discord in public, okay? Because if you share too much, then a TA will be like, hey, you're sharing too much, and then we'll delete whatever you shared, and then you'll be fine, right? That is the right way to do it. You want that. You want us to be... You can definitely research online. You cannot look for a specific answer to the problem, because unfortunately, there are a lot of solutions floating around, and I do write new questions, but then those questions are almost immediately posted to Chegg, and so within a few hours, they also have answers online, regardless if I use old questions or not. So, the book is not free, but it is not too expensive. So, let's see here. Python crash course. Here it is. Here's the book for the class. So I picked this book because it's actually a pretty good reference. It's actually a very good book. There's a lot of nice things about it. I basically skimmed through most of it myself. And also, it happens to be $20. So if you want a good reference for Python and for programming in general, then this is the book for you, because I think it's a good balance between, it actually covers way more than the course. It has a lot more advanced stuff. I mean, look, you can buy from wherever you want. I'm not saying you should buy from Amazon. I'm just pulling it up so that you can see the cover page and you know what it looks like. I don't know why the Kindle is more expensive. It's just Amazon, insanity going on. Okay. All right, so that's all I want to talk about. Here's my last thing about cheating. If I don't catch anyone, and I don't have to have a single meeting this semester, my life improves by a factor of 2. It really does. And so I beg you people, I beg everyone to make my life good and help me out and just to work on your own on this stuff. Okay? And that's what I want. I want to have no meetings. 0. That would be perfect. So that'd be great. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about other things for the course. So I really hate talking about that. All right, back to the course. So you might be wondering, I've mentioned GL a number of times. So what's all that about? Okay. Yeah, please. If you think that you're getting close to a line, ask a TA, ask me. The point is that if you come to me and you say, this is what I did, and I think I might have crossed the line with cheating stuff, I can help you out. We can get out of that situation without doing anything. On the other hand, if you don't come to me, and you're pretty sure that you sent someone your code or you crossed the line in some real major way, and we catch you, then you're in trouble. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of public, but, well, anyway, okay, I'm going to ignore all of that, and let's talk about GL. So before we talk about GL, we have to talk about SSH. So SSH is secure shell, and so what that does is it gives you a text interface to another computer. In this case, the GL server, which is a UMBC server. Okay? And so this is where all of your stuff is going to be submitted. This is where everything is going to be done. So how do we do that? Well, there's two ways. If you're on Linux or Mac, you have to open a terminal. So what you need to do is Google how to open a terminal, and then do that. Okay? The reason that I'm saying that is because I'm on a Windows machine, and I don't have a Mac. But let's see here. I know. So if you're on Linux, on the other hand, let's see, is it going to load? Come on. It did. Cool. So yeah, so on a Mac you can Spotlight and Open Terminal. This is an old version of Ubuntu that I'm running virtually. You can just open a terminal here, like this, or technically you can right-click and open terminal like that. And so sometimes you might have to go into their menu and do some things like activities or whatever, and then go like terminal, and then it'll pop up. So hang on. I think that's the meme for today. Okay. Again, hang on. So let's go into let's talk about how to SSH. What you have to do is you have to SSH into gl.umbc.edu. And then if you're on Mac or Linux, you have to do a -L. This is not an I, this is not a 1, this is an L. And then you type in your name. And that's how you do it. Okay? And then you have to type in your password. So this warning is the warning you get from the university. It says don't install viruses. So then you say, here's my password, password1. And then let's see if it's right. Is it gonna work? Okay, it's hanging. Come on, GL. There you go. So I guess that's a warning to you. GL is sometimes slow. So this is how you log into GL. Okay. I'll show you how to do it if you don't want to do that. So, okay. So once you're on the Linux terminal, then you can do other things. But okay, so let me get the Windows people on now. So the first thing to do if you're on Windows is to go to where's the syllabus? Syllabus? No. You want to look for a program called PuTTY. Okay? Yes, I agree with all of that. I'm going to show you how to use PyCharm. I just haven't talked about it yet. We're talking about the GL server right now. So, okay. So you go to PuTTY, and then there's two things. You can either download PuTTY, or you can download Bitvice if you want. I actually use Bitvice now, but either one. PuTTY is a pretty bare bones one that you can use. So if you click here, so you can just install maybe the 64-bit Windows one right here. So go here and install. And maybe I'll post these links in the Discord and on the Blackboard or something. I'll put it in an announcement. So once you install PuTTY, so I'm not going to show you installing PuTTY because I have PuTTY installed already. So this is what's going to pop up for you. Can you SFTP into GL? Yes. Yes, you can. So there's a Windows PowerShell if you're using Windows 10. If you're using Windows 7, it's iffy. So that's why we use PuTTY. So so you want to type gl.umbc.edu, and you go open. And then here it asks for your username. And then the one thing to remember is that when you're typing your password, the cursor does not move, right? So because the cursor doesn't move, a lot of people get confused. The cursor, you just have to type your password correctly and then hit enter. And then it'll take you into the system. So here we are, and there we go. GL is operating a bit slowly today. So ls is a way to check your directory. So you can go pwd, for instance, for present working directory. That'll tell you where you are. We're on AFS, umbc.edu, users, ER, Eric8, home. And so, well, I mean, okay. So, all right, so this is basically what to do. So let's look at homework 0 now. I think this is homework 0 for you guys, yes. So, yep, I'll put that in just to make sure. So basically homework 0 shows you how to log on to GL, which is what I'm showing you. So you basically follow these instructions. GL in your home directory. So what you want to do, example, and then I'll see the example. Okay. Okay, so now say I'm in this directory. There's nothing in here. And this is where I am when I go home. And so now I want to create my CMSC 201 directory. It doesn't matter what you call it, but you have to remember that you're always going to use the same thing. Otherwise, you're going to end up storing things in different places. So you use the command mkdir for make directory, which is basically making a folder. So now there's a new folder now. You see how a CMSC 201 folder was created. And so now what you do is you cd, which means change directory, into CMSC 201. And you can use tab for autocomplete, and then you ls, and you see, okay, there's nothing in here, pwd. So you see here, I'm in example CMSC 201, so that's where I am. Maybe I can increase the font size for people who had bad quality. Let's see. I forget. There is a way to do it, I believe. Change settings. Window. Let's see, is there a way to do it? I always forget what the setting is. Just looking for a font setting. Oh, here it is. Found it. There we go. That's correct. Okay, so here you see that now I'm in example CMSC 201. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to make a directory for homework and cd into homeworks. And there's nothing in here. And then you can even, let's just do Emacs. So you say to use touch. Touch is going to create a file, so you'll notice that a new file has been created if you use touch. You also can just use Emacs straight into the file like this. And if you do that, then you get a text editor like this. So basically here, you would do Emacs and you would go into it. And then the point of this assignment is that you're going to print out a single line of code. The single line of code is going to be print, hello, this is a grade semester, something, something. Okay, so that's what you got to do. And so it tells you what to type in the assignment, and so you'll type it. And then the way to do things in Emacs is you hit Control X to bring up the like internal settings or menu or whatever, and then you hit Control S for save. Notice it says no changes need to be saved because I kind of, kind of mash S, Control X, Control S, neurotically. And then Control X, Control C will exit. Okay? So it's all explained in the Homework Zero documentation as well, but I'm just telling you right here, right now, because we're here. So, okay, so then now here you say, cool, now I have a homework zero.py. Yes, it should be, for very few people it isn't, but it should be your UMBC account password. So here's how you run a program in Python. So you'll type Python3 homework0.py. And then you'll hit enter. And then it'll run. And so there it ran, it printed out the string that we had, something, 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 and that's it. Okay, so we're done, right? The answer is, oh, whoops. Can't use that. Never mind. So, shouldn't use punctuation in an echo statement. Okay, but now, how do I see? Well, I'm about to tell you. Here's how you do it. You type submit CMSC 201, and then so it's important that the CMSC is in lowercase. It's important that HW0, we always make them uppercase. So there's no lowercase project names, no lab names, everything is always uppercase. It's lowercase CMSC 201, uppercase HW0, and then the files you want to submit. So HW0.py. And then this is what it should show you if it works. It should say submitting HW0.py, okay. Once it says this, you can check to make sure your submission has gone through. You can do what's called the submit ls command. So ls tells you everything in a directory. Submit ls basically tells you everything that's in your homework 0 directory. If you type in submit ls CMSC 201 homework 0, and the important thing that you look for to TypeScript or assignments. I don't believe so. Okay. Okay. I also submitted a names.py. You don't have to do that. That was just a test file that I submitted to make sure that submit was working last night. The other important thing here is this is when it was submitted. So 503 on January 27th. This is the file name. And this is the file size in bytes. So what you can always do is make sure that your file is about that right size. Homework 0 is not out yet, right? Homework 0 is going to be released as soon as this class is over. So, yeah, 5:51 a.m. That's when I was doing it. Okay. It's a different submit directory. So if you were here last semester, this is a different place. So it should work. No, you don't. It's all new. It's all new. Even if it was set up last semester, does this mean I wouldn't have to do it again if everything was already there? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could resubmit your original homework 0. That's fine. We don't care. Homework 0 is just to make sure that you are able to use the submit system, right? As long as we get a file from you that runs in Python, then we are happy, okay? So that's the whole point. Okay, so, all right, cool. So that's how to do submitting, that's how to submit files, and that's how to test that your submission went through. Okay, so let me go back to this and to say, but you don't always, and this is the one thing that's, let's just say, for us, for you, for me, for everybody, you don't always want to use coding on Emacs on the GL server is kind of awful. Okay? This is not the way anyone really does it anymore. And we're not going to pretend that modern IDEs don't exist. So I suggest use a modern IDE. So let me show you what a modern IDE is. So for instance, a modern IDE is PyCharm, which is, I think, one of the better Python IDEs. So what do you do to install PyCharm? Well, if you're doing it on your computer, the first thing you do is install Python. So don't install PyCharm until you've installed Python. You can use VS Code if you want, but I think PyCharm is actually better for Python. VS Code is, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I don't really care what IDE you use. There's no requirement. Does PyCharm work on Mac? Indeed it does. So let me show you how to get PyCharm. Here's how to get it. You go type in PyCharm into a browser and you click on it, and hopefully my internet doesn't screw up. So, but remember, first you install Python. So here you go to python.org, you go to downloads, releases, and so this is first. You can make VS Code into a real IDE as long as you plug enough stuff into it. But yeah, it's basically just a text editor when it comes installed. So for Mac, what do I recommend? I mean, PyCharm. I'm recommending PyCharm because it's what I use. So, okay. And you look at all these versions, right? And you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, what do I do? The answer is it really doesn't matter. You can pick version 3.8.7, you can pick version 3.9.1, 3.8.6. I wouldn't go back to 3.5, 3.7.9. Anything after 3.6 is probably fine. But yeah, just pick the latest version, download Python 3.9.1, and it should download, hopefully it will say for Mac or for Linux or whatever. And so you just click download and it'll download, and that's what you do, and then you install it, okay? However you install, either in Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever, right? Get the latest version. So maybe, yeah, you can, if you can, I'm not going to support it, meaning that we're not going to provide tech support for it if you can't get it to work, but if you can get it to work, you're allowed to use SSH through whatever you want. The only reason why we show people PuTTY is because it works, we know it works, and we know everybody can usually download it if they're on Windows. And even if their Windows terminal isn't working as well or doesn't have SSH enabled or something like that, you know, there's a lot of different things that can go wrong. We're just trying to tell everybody all the basics that they can use to get onto the class. So, okay. So once you've downloaded Python and make sure you install it, then you download PyCharm, right? So what you want to do is you can just click download, or you can, yeah, so let's see. You click download and then it'll take you to this. And it'll hopefully default to the right thing for you, either Mac or Linux or Windows. For me it's Windows, but you know, just whatever. Click on the right thing. And then here's the way to do it. So if you want to use your email, if you want to get this free, there's a free student year that you can get at PyCharm. So, but you have to give your email if you click the professional version. If you don't want to click the professional version, you click the community version, and then you don't have to do anything. And so then you click download and you download it. Yep. And so if you want to use some of the more advanced features, then you click on professional, but otherwise just click on community. Okay, and so then once you download PyCharm, let me show you PyCharm. So I actually have PyCharm already running. The 201 bot is running PyCharm as we speak. So let me just start a new project. So what happens when you start PyCharm is that it will come up like this. And if you have the professional version, it'll have all this crap. If you don't have the professional version, it'll just have like a smaller subset of the crap. The good news is that you should click on this, and you see I'm actually using an ancient version on this Windows, 3.7, right? Python is now in 3.9. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Nothing about this course is going to matter. 3.6, 7, 8, 9 are all the same for us. You know, when you get to really advanced Python features, you might end up with something that's different, but for us, it's all the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a PyCharm project, right? Once you install the PyCharm, and the only reason why I say this is that hopefully you'll create a new virtual environment, and the only thing that matters is that you install Python first so that PyCharm can detect the Python interpreter. So if you install in the wrong order, then it's possible that PyCharm may not detect the interpreter and may not be able to use it. You'll have to do other file stuff and mess with paths and all kinds of really annoying stuff. So that's why I'm saying, you know, don't install in the wrong order. Okay, and then what's a good project name? Doorbell. Okay, and then let's open a new window. Cool. So now it's doing things, it's setting up. And so now what you can do is, you don't have to do this. This is only for your benefit. Okay. So you right-click on your project, you click New, Python file. Right, so right-click on the project, New Python file, and then you type, how do I open settings? I'm not telling them how to open settings. You're a troll. If they need to open settings, they can hit Control-S, but be good, everyone. Okay. Yeah, you're a definite troll. Okay, anyway, so let's make a little file here. So I don't know why I called it doorbell, but doorbell.py, and then we'll print out ring ring, or maybe, you know, knock knock, right? I guess that's what you do. Well, no, you ring a doorbell, so not knock knock. So, okay. So now to run the code, all you have to do is either right-click on the file or right-click on the tab up here with the file, and then just click Run Doorbell, and there it goes. You see here, it did. Yeah, don't use Python 2. Use only Python 3. That would make a major difference. So, okay. Yep. So I recommend that you use PyCharm. The reason, and I'll show you next time. So next time on CMSC 201, we'll talk about transferring files to the GL server, because this doorbell.py is actually on my computer, so it doesn't count, right? So it doesn't count for any points until you submit it, right? So I don't know how to submit this file. Help me. And as I say, that's for next time. So, yeah, so the good news is once you're on the Discord, this is something that is definitely not cheating. You should talk to the other students, get help, talk to the TAs. The TAs are all around and bored. So, oh, Control-L, yeah, the align feature. Yeah, I might tell people about that. That's a really useful feature. So, yep, so basically this is how you will code Python. And it's morally required that you use a dark rather than the light format, because I think that's become the modern standard here. So please, I don't want to see any light coding. And what else is there? What else is there? I think we're good. I think we're good. I think you know, I mean, you don't really know, but I'll release homework 0. I'll release homework 0 and lab 0. So lab 0 is talking to your TA. Homework 0 is submitting that file that I showed you how to submit. And so you should go through the process. You should watch the video again. You can always pause the video when you want to know how to do a specific thing, to see what I typed, to see what I did, and then reproduce that and try to get everything done. The earlier you submit homework 0, the earlier you'll know. So it's not a test of your competence. It's a test of the submit system to know whether or not you can get credit for anything else this semester. So please do not wait. For homework 0, using PuTTY is 100% the right way to go because you're typing or copying and pasting one line of code. So don't bother to install PyCharm just for homework 0. When do you receive the Discord link? So I think you might have been one of the people who didn't receive the Discord link because of some stupidity on my part. So office hours are from 9 to 5 right now. So not all, I mean, not 24/7. So you can ask questions in the On Topic channel. And homeworks have the due date on them. When is homework? I made homework 0 due February 5th. So next Friday. I think that they did not get an email, and that's my fault. Yeah. So cool. Any other questions? Anything else you need right now? If you need anything, also you can just go on the Discord, right? Yeah. As I said, you did not get the. You did not get it. Oh, is it February? Did I misspell February? No, I didn't. It's right here. Okay. Maybe. Maybe if you guys are good. I'll have to clean up my desk a little bit. Okay, so let me go and release homework 0, and I'll release lab 0 sometime tonight. But you guys know what lab 0 is. Lab 0 is saying hi to your TA, talking to your TA on the Discord. So lab 0 is a test of your ability to talk to your TA. Homework 0 is a test of your ability. Yeah, you can do, I don't care how homework 0 gets done. You can do it in PyCharm and then copy paste it into terminal. That's fine. We'll talk, so this lecture had no real code. You saw a print statement, but that was it. Next lecture, I promise you we will do real coding. There will be actual programming. This class will get off to a start, and I will fix my webcam so you can actually see me. I'm sorry about that. Okay. I wouldn't delete them. I would probably, you might have to set up the path stuff. So yeah, I would say talk to people on the Discord, talk to a TA and see if they can help you. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, there will be plenty of dog on video as soon as I get my webcam working. Okay, so get on stuff. Yeah, the next lecture is at 1 p.m., and that's just to split it up evenly between the 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. people. Okay, well, either send me an email or, yeah, send me an email if you haven't received any, if you haven't received one, and I'll make sure one gets to you. That's the whole point of Lab 0, is just to, just to check out and make sure everybody has access. So, during lecture, are we taking notes or coding? So I usually do live coding. My lectures have, I used to do slides, but I've mostly transitioned to just live coding. So so I basically just code, and then you can code along with me, and that's usually the most. And then at the end, I'll just post it to GitHub. So that's how it usually works. Okay. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, that's only if the interpreter is detected. So I'll let all of you go. Have a good rest of your day. Welcome to CMSC 201. Let's get this semester started. Alright, I'll see you on the Discord. Goodbye. Oh, wait. Wait. Before I do... Crap. Outro. There ain't no more. It's over.